Hello and welcome. We are here with another AWS ISV interview, and today we are joined by Joachim Bergman, the CEO of 24i. Welcome to you, Joachim.
Thank you.
First of all, I have to say I love your name. So just to get that out of the way, name siblings. But tell us a little bit about 24i for those people who don't know about it.
Yes, so 24i, we're a video streaming experience company. So what we do is that we lead with the thing we call smart apps, which is our front end, our video applications for basically all platforms that you can find for streaming. Then what makes us quite unique is the fact that we have a UI manager, which we call Backstage, which is then where you can update the UI without actually updating the apps. You can also integrate different third parties into it. So really the promise is to do that without actually quite seamlessly both integrate, but also changing things in a very flexible manner without then doing a very cumbersome update process of applications, etc. And then thirdly, we have what we call Smart Video, which is our streaming platform, and it's a video engine which handles more or less all the heavy lifting with transcoding, metadata enrichment, entitlements, and so on to really get your end-to-end video streaming experience, which we provide to content owners and telcos mainly.
Excellent. And so it sounds like you, when you're talking about some of the technologies you're offering, you're deeply embedded in the cloud, clearly. How did you get involved in the AWS cloud space?
It felt natural to go to the cloud, especially when we have sort of evolved from being kind of bespoke. So bespoke front-end applications, bespoke in the sense that they become custom to every customer, and now built a new platform which is based on React Native, and then also the Backstage, which is basically cloud native. So it kind of felt intuitive to use that, also because the speed and flexibility it provides.
We love React over at Metal Toad, and I'm curious in terms of the way that you fit into the M&E ecosystem. As far as media and entertainment goes, do you integrate with other players? What are the touch points that you generally have?
So we we work. I mean, sometimes we just provide the what we call the smart apps, the front end, and we partner with companies like Verizon. So Verizon is a partner of ours, and where they do the streaming part, we can also do the whole end-to-end solution, including the streaming part. But also we have a big partner ecosystem that we have, for instance, with analytics, with companies like Jump and then we have the recommendation side where we work with Bion Labs, Xros Media. We work with different metadata providers, and we also have used the Microsoft Video Indexer as well to use some of the things where to provide a better user experience for the on the picture side. So we have various partners that we also work with, and it kind of depends on what the customer wants. So if the customer wants to have some things, we're extremely proud of being the best in the market, but sometimes you have to realize that you're not the best in the market, and that's why we also bring in, let's say, the different scale of partners. So if somebody really wants to have the best of breed, then we bring in a partner, and if somebody wants to have fast time to market and cost efficiency, then maybe they will be satisfied with our full end-to-end proposition.
Makes sense. And so talking about the cloud sort of more broadly, are there any other cloud technologies that you've read about or heard about that you find particularly interesting?
So in general, I think we watch the space very, very carefully for ourselves, because of course, analytics is a space which I think is extremely interesting. We are working on a journey that we're doing some things. I think they are really the power of harnessing the data and as refining the data and analyzing data using AI and machine learning is extremely intriguing. But also on the video streaming side, I think the fact what we also see now happening, and we have actually launched it as well, is to do complete live workflows very cost efficiently and also very rapid to deploy. So we recently launched a complete end-to-end customer full in the cloud, both live and on demand and events. And that really shows the flexibility and the power of the cloud, where you can basically, like a torch, light up a new service with different flexible models. So this is a sports provider where they have some live, like a live channel, but then they can flex the events up to infinity. So it really provides then this sort of thing where you can provide immense value with our software, but also a really robust cloud infrastructure.
Yeah, no, the live capabilities and certainly what you can do in real time, and what AI can then help you extract because you're dealing with so much data really is fascinating. So we've managed to dance around this, but we're doing a Zoom in part because of the coronavirus. What do you think the impact of COVID is going to be on the media and entertainment industry over the next 12 months, let's say?
We already saw it immediately. I think that we saw from our existing customers that they actually got quite a lot of interest, and also a lot of different. We saw some of our customers growing tens of thousands of percent in just a few weeks. And again, coming back to cloud, I mean, it's
Wow.
very difficult to do that if you wouldn't be on the cloud and have quite robust systems to handle and solutions. So I think that's one thing that we have seen. And also we tend to believe that we also help people out being in lockdown through our customers and through the services we provide, that some comfort and some maybe some, well, I would say comfort and maybe some sanity as well, and also
Yeah.
information. We work with public broadcasters. We work with people, companies that provide news, but also general entertainment. So I think that what we have seen is that the big ones are not enough. People are switching to more and more niche type of services where they would like to be entertained. Also because they can't go, for instance, to a Broadway show. And incidentally,
Yeah.
that's one of our customers. Broadway HD is basically the digital Broadway, and they were the ones who had immense growth during COVID. And I think this type of things where you cannot really experience the physical world, I think this is here to stay. I mean, people think that, okay, it's actually not so bad to experience certain things digitally and maybe in your home. You see that as remote working is another aspect, but on the entertainment side, it's similar. I would see, you also saw that, was it Wonder Woman, which was now basically launched at the same time on HBO as it was in the movie theaters, and I think
Hmm.
that's unheard of before. And I think through
Yeah.
coronavirus, you'll see these different windows that you used to have as being completely challenged, and I think that will more and more become blurry. Partly because of Corona, but I think it also instilled a new behavior in people where you say, well, I would like to do even get even more flexibility than maybe before.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think that in many cases, Corona actually not only provided the reason, but also that permission for things that people were already thinking about. You have the Trolls World Tour release that we've released on Direct. Um, Perhaps we could say it's a perfect storm, keeping with the cloud metaphor. Um, but for the last question, let's go a little bigger. What do you think the impact of the cloud will be on business over the next 3 years?
Generally business or media and
Yeah,
entertainment.
generally business beyond media and entertainment. Are you seeing trends that are essentially going beyond? I mean, I don't think we would have thought of before Broadway, for example, as a cloud-based business, and I'm actually fascinated by that. I'd love to know, like, are they actually doing the performances and broadcasting them live, and then,
Yeah.
every night? It
I
sounds
think
fascinating.
no. So this is more of an on-demand service, but there is also this thing about streaming from the theaters, right? I mean, I think these type of things
Yeah,
is thing are things that are here to stay. These things where it's sort of partly virtual, and I think in terms of the big trends, travel, I think that has changed. I mean, I think maybe the airlines like to believe that will go back to normal. Yes, it will go back to a normal. It will not be the same normal because people, I think, are quite happy with the fact that we will interact like this. So you will choose much more carefully about how you spend your time and how you value your time, because the cloud provides so much flexibility in terms of how you can optimize your time and value. So we can have
yeah,
this meeting now. I mean, imagine like 20 years ago, I had to have to come to Oregon. That would be quite a lot of work to have a 20-minute interview. So,
Yeah.
so I think that to me is one thing, that remote working, the way we work. At the same time, also physical presence will then become a little bit more important, but I think in a different way. So your office working will be then more centered around working together in a group, whereas more day to day will be distributed. And if you think about it a little bit more wider, then I think when it comes to media entertainment, and I think we already see that, is this acceleration of things that we kind of could foresee. Like we foresaw that this normal linear experience will go down. Now we see
Yeah.
that this would probably also surpasses linear even during this year, and you can then extrapolate that going forward, that you'll see much more, I would say, this flexing. So events will become much bigger. So you could take a view that you will have different events like the Olympics or different sports, which will just be mega amplified in terms of different viewing experiences, because you can do that. Before, it was extremely costly to provide these things. You need more cameras,
Yeah.
more feeds, more. Really, because you were dependent on physical infrastructure, and through the power of software and the cloud, these type of things is not so difficult anymore. Maybe the
Yeah.
quality is not exactly as good, but I think people are willing to compromise on a little bit lower quality in order to get this sort of immersive experiences, and also this flexibility of different feeds and always on.
It's funny that you mentioned the Olympics because, when you think about that every 4-year cycle, the things that have changed, over the past 4 years, radically different, and I think as soon as they figure out what they want to do in terms of bringing the athletes together, once things get easier, I would imagine the next Olympics we have will be radically different, or have the capability to be radically different. That's really fascinating insight, and a just one little microcosm. Well, so one final question. So, Joachim, if people want to get in touch with you or 24i, what's the best way for them to find out more information or to get in touch?
So we did a soft launch on our website, so I can't really promote it heavily on. So, but we will have a very good updated website which we soft launched actually today. So that's really
Congratulations.
so that's probably the best way. LinkedIn works. Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, and so on. We're also active on social media and so on. But I think the best way to find out more about us is through our website,
Great. Well, Joachim,
which is, by the way, 24i.com.
24i.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, and we will be in touch.
Yeah. Thank you.